Tired of words sabotaging your relationships, thoughts spiraling out of control, moods wrecking your day, and money slipping away? In this video, get the exact 4-part blueprint to master them all, starting right now. Welcome to Audiobook World, where we deliver self-improvement masterclasses as immersive audiobooks. Inside this 12-chapter blueprint, you'll discover how to pause before destructive words escape, rewire your mind for unbreakable focus, stabilize moods that fuel success, and build wealth that multiplies effortlessly. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications for daily transformations. Use chapter timestamps below to jump in. Let's master your life. Play now. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine standing at the edge of a raging storm, winds howling, rain lashing your face, thunder cracking like the world itself is breaking. That's your life right now, isn't it? Words slipping out that you can't take back. Thoughts spiraling into chaos, moods swinging like a pendulum of fire and ice, money vanishing like smoke through your fingers. But what if I told you the storm isn't out there? It's inside, and you hold the key to calm it. Welcome to your transformation. This is how you seize control of your mouth, your mind, your mood, and your money. Let's step into the eye of the storm together, where power. Chapter 1. The lethal power of unbridled words. Imagine this. You're standing in a crowded room, heart pounding, face flushed with the heat of the moment. The words form on your tongue like arrows nocked in a bow, sharp, ready to fly. You loose them. They strike, and in that instant, a friendship fractures, a deal dissolves, a love turns to ash. You feel the recoil, the hollow echo of regret that no apology can silence. This isn't a nightmare, it's the raw truth of an untamed mouth. Right now, in this very chapter, we're ripping open the veil on words, the most dangerous weapons you carry every day. If you've ever watched your life unravel from a single slip of the tongue, lean in close. Your mastery begins here, with the first breath of control. Words aren't just sounds, they're architects of your reality. They build empires or burn them to the ground. Think of the quiet man in the corner office, the one who rose to the top, not by shouting loudest, but by choosing silence when fury demanded noise. His name? Elias. 20 years ago, he was you, hot-tempered, quick to lash out at a colleague's mistake during a high-stakes presentation. Incompetent fool, he spat. The room froze. Elias lost the promotion, the respect, and soon the job. But in the ashes of that humiliation, he forged a vow never again. He began with a simple ritual, 3 deep breaths before responding, not to suppress, but to sculpt. Today, Elias leads thousands. His words are currency of gold. Your story doesn't have to end in ruins. It can rise from them. Let's pierce deeper into this force you wield so carelessly. Every utterance carves a groove in the stone of your life. Harsh criticism to a child, it etches doubt that lingers for decades. A whispered doubt to yourself in the mirror, it widens into a chasm of self-sabotage. But flip the blade, words of encouragement to a struggling friend, and you plant seeds of unbreakable loyalty. Speak vision into your own chaos. I am building something greater, and watch your path straighten. The mouth is no mere outlet, it's a forge where futures are hammered into shape. Feel that power stirring in you now. It's yours to command, not to fear. Pause with me here, listener. Reflect on the last time your tongue betrayed you. Was it in anger, spilling venom at a loved one over a spilled dinner, or in haste, promising what you couldn't deliver, eroding trust brick by brick? I see it in your eyes, the nod of recognition. That moment wasn't fate, it was a choice unchained. The foundation of control lies in reclaiming that choice. Start small, but start fierce. Before words escape, invoke the guardian question: will this heal or harm? Elevate or erode? Let it be your sentinel at the gate. Speak only what aligns with the empire you dream to build. In this practice, you don't just guard your mouth, you awaken a king within. Now envision your mouth as a river. Left wild, it floods villages, drowns bridges, leaves devastation in its wake. Tamed, it irrigates fields, nourishes life, carves canyons of enduring beauty. You've been the flood too long. Redirect the current, practice the art of measured speech in the quiet hours. Stand before the dawn light, voice affirmations, not as rote chants, but as oaths sworn to your soul. My words create worlds of possibility. Feel them resonate in your chest, vibrating with truth. Then carry them into the day. When tension rises at the dinner table, in the boardroom, draw from that well. Let silence be your ally, pregnant with power. Others will lean in, hungry for what emerges. But true depth demands vulnerability. Let me share the shadow side, the wound we all carry. There was a woman named Clara, whose mouth was a storm of unspoken grief. After losing her husband, she bottled the pain, letting bitterness seep out in barbs at her children. "Why can't you ever get it right?" she'd snap. Her home became a battlefield, her kids distant ghosts. One night, staring at family photos faded by time, Clara broke. She gathered them, not with accusations, but with raw honesty. "I've been drowning in my hurt, and it's hurt you. Forgive me. Let's rebuild." Tears fell, walls crumbled, bonds renewed stronger than steel. Her mouth, once a weapon of isolation, became a bridge to healing. What's your unspoken storm, listener? Name it. Release it, with words forged in courage. This is the alchemy of control, turning poison into potion. As we stand on this precipice, grasp this eternal truth. The mouth you master today echoes through eternity. It shapes not just moments, but legacies. Your children will mimic its rhythm. Your colleagues will mirror its grace or grit. Strangers will remember its warmth or recoil from its chill. Choose now to be the source of uplift, the voice that lingers like a melody in the mind. Train relentlessly. In conversations, listen twice as much as you speak. Absorb, then respond with precision. Record your day's exchanges in a journal at dusk. What built? What broke? Refine like a blacksmith at the anvil. With each iteration, your command sharpens. You'll notice the shift. People drawn to you. Opportunities blooming where conflicts once choked. Yet, this power tempts abuse. The silver-tongued manipulator, charming crowds while weaving deceit. Avoid that pit. True mastery pairs words with integrity. Speak truth, even when it trembles on your lips. In vulnerability lies invincibility. Picture the leader who admits, "I was wrong," and watches loyalty surge, or the partner who says, "I need you," forging intimacy unbreakable. Your mouth, purified, becomes a lighthouse in others' fog. Shine it boldly. We've laid the cornerstone here, the unyielding truth, that words are your first domain of dominion. Feel the weight of it settling in your bones, a quiet revolution igniting. You've glimpsed the wreckage of the uncontrolled and the glory of the restrained. But this is merely the gateway. Ahead lies the wilder beast, your mind, that relentless architect of chaos and creation. What happens when thoughts run rampant, unchecked by the discipline we've just forged? Turn the page with me, listener. In Chapter 2, we seize the reins of that untamed force. Your journey deepens now. Chapter 2, Reining the Rampant Mind. Picture yourself lost in a vast, fog-shrouded forest at midnight, branches clawing at your skin. Every rustle a whisper of unseen predators closing in. Your thoughts race ahead, disaster behind every tree, failure lurking in the shadows, until exhaustion drops you to your knees, gasping, trapped by illusions of your own making. This is your mind unleashed, listener, a savage wilderness devouring your peace, your potential, your very soul. But here's the thunderclap truth. You are not its prisoner. You are the ranger, the sovereign who carves trails through the dark. In this chapter we storm that forest together. Grip your lantern tight. Freedom from mental tyranny starts with the first deliberate step. Your mind isn't a passive stream. It's a forge of fire and fury, hammering realities from raw imagination. Left wild, it spins tales of doom, the deal that might flop, the love that could fade, the body betraying with every ache. These aren't prophecies, they're phantoms you feed. Meet Ronan, the architect whose blueprints crumbled, not from flawed designs, but from a mind that replayed every critique, like a dirge. Sleepless nights birthed errors. Errors fueled more nights. One dawn, shattered by a collapsed project, he confronted the beast. He drew a line in the sand. No more unchecked wanderings. Instead he healed mental corrals, fenced thoughts with questions of steel. Is this rooted in evidence or born of fear? Day by day, the fog lifted. Today Ronan's towers pierce skylines, his mind a blueprint of precision. Yours holds the same blueprint. Claim it. Dive deeper with me into this inner realm. Thoughts cascade like a mountain torrent, swift, relentless, carving canyons if you let them. But mastery demands dams of discernment. The wild mind clings to wreckage, that ancient slight from a parent, the fumbled chance years gone. It replays, amplifies, until present joys drown. Break the cycle with the anchor ritual. Close your eyes now, yes, right here. Inhale the earth's strength. For 5 counts, hold the power within for 5. Exhale the debris for 7. Feel the torrent slow. This isn't escape, it's command. Anchor daily, and watch thoughts align like soldiers at reveille. Your mind, once a battlefield, becomes a war room plotting triumphs. Feel the stirrings of resistance. That's the old guard rebelling. Lean into it. Vulnerability cracks the armor. Recall Mira, the teacher, whose classroom dreams soured under waves of self-doubt. Who am I to inspire? Her mind sneered after every stuttered lesson. Parents noticed the wilt. Students drifted. In desperation, she voiced the shadows aloud to a trusted friend, not for pity, but for light. These thoughts lie, she declared. Together they dismantled them, evidence of impact. A child's breakthrough smile, a note of gratitude. Mira journaled nightly. 3 truths affirming her worth, 3 intentions for tomorrow. Her classroom bloomed, her mind a garden of clarity. What's whispering defeat in your silence, listener? Name it aloud. Strip its power. In exposure lies liberation. Envision your mind as an ancient loom, threads of thought weaving the tapestry of your days. Tangled yarns birth knots of anxiety, straight ones craft masterpieces. You've tolerated tangles too long. Straighten them with vigilance, weaving. Morning ritual. Select 3 empowering strands. I create solutions effortlessly. Challenges sharpen my edge. Abundance flows to the prepared. Weave them into your dawn, speaking them with conviction, as if etching stone. Throughout the day, when stray threads snag, worry about bills, envy of another's path, pause, unwind, reweave. Evening review. What patterns emerged? Adjust the loom. This practice doesn't silence the mind. It directs its genius. You'll sense the shift. Decisions crisp, creativity surging, sleep profound. But beware the mind's cunning disguises. It masquerades panic as preparation, envy as ambition. Pierce the veil with the mirror of motive. Stand before your reflection at twilight. Ask, does this thought serve my highest ascent, or chain me to the valley? Honesty burns illusions away. I knew a merchant, Theo, whose mind hoarded fears of scarcity, driving ruthless deals that emptied his coffers of allies. Barren success tasted bitter. He adopted the mirror, confronting, this greed serves no one. He pivoted to value-first trades, fair exchanges, birthing partnerships eternal. Wealth multiplied not in gold alone, but in unbreakable bonds. Your mind tempts similar traps. Shatter them. Forge one that builds bridges, not barricades. True sovereignty blooms in stillness. The wild mind abhors quiet. Filling it with chatter, cultivate the sacred pause. Amid frenzy, traffic snarl, deadline crush. Step aside 5 minutes. Sit. Observe thoughts as distant birds wheeling overhead. Acknowledge, release. No judgment, just witness. This pause isn't idleness, it's recalibration. Over weeks, the birds flock less wildly. Your core voice emerges, steady, sage, integrated everywhere. Before meals, savoring presence. Before sleep, releasing the day's weave. Your mind transforms from tempest to trusted navigator, charting courses to uncharted victories. Grasp this pillar now. A reined mind doesn't merely survive chaos, it authors destiny. It turns obstacles to stepping stones, whispers of doubt to roars of resolve. Your relationships deepen, fed by events not projection. Careers catapult, propelled by focus not flailing. Health thrives, unplagued by stress's silent siege. Train it as a falconer trains his bird. Patient, firm, releasing only for the hunt. Journal the flights. Small wins logged compound into mastery. Share with a confident spoken reins tighten. You're no longer adrift. You've claimed the helm. We've tamed the mind's wilderness here, carving paths where brambles once reigned. Feel the quiet strength rooting in you, a foundation unshakable. Yet dominion over thoughts is but half the thing. Lurking beyond lies the mood's treacherous tides, ebbs of despair, floods of frenzy that can swamp even the steadiest ship. How do you steady the emotional sea when waves rise unbidden? Linger here a moment, then follow me forward. Chapter 3 awaits, where we harness that volatile force. Your command expands. Chapter 3, steadying the emotional tempest. Feel the ground vanish beneath you as a colossal wave rears up, emerald fury curling high, poised to crash and swallow everything in icy oblivion. 1 second, you're soaring on elation's crest. The next, plummeting into despair's abyss, drowning in tears over a trivial slight, raging at shadows that vanish by dawn. This is your mood unleashed, listener, a tidal monster that drags empires under and leaves survivors gasping on barren shores. But hear this clarion call. You are not driftwood. You are the captain who charts these waters, summoning calm from chaos. In this chapter we dive into the heart of the storm. Secure your footing. The art of mood mastery unfurls now, wave by relentless wave. Moods are not random tyrants. They are echoes of your inner harbor, stirred by winds you can learn to still. They color every horizon, painting triumphs gray or failures golden, dictating if you seize opportunities or cower from them. Consider Lena, the artist whose canvases burst with fire 1 week, only to gather dust the next, under melancholy's pall. Galleries passed her by, inspiration fled. In her lowest ebb, staring at blank stretches, she traced the currents. A restless night birthed irritability that repelled collaborators, snowballing into isolation. She resolved to anchor. Each morning, she inscribed 3 anchors on her easel. Gratitude for the breath in my lungs, wonder at the light through leaves, strength in my hands that create dawn by dawn, The tempests eased. Lena's galleries now showcase symphonies of color, her mood a steady gale propelling her art. Your harbor calls for the same anchors. Cast them deep, plumb the depths with me. Moods surge from unseen springs, a forgotten compliment resurfacing as joy, an overheard whisper festering into fury. Unmastered, they hijack your helm, veering you from purpose. Reclaim it through the dawn declaration. Rise before the sun claims the sky. Stand tall, feet rooted, and proclaim aloud, not whispered but thundered. Today I choose equilibrium. Joy rises within me, unbidden by circumstance. Peace is my compass. Let the words vibrate through your frame, imprinting resolve when swells threaten. Boss's edge, lover's distance. Return to the declaration silently, a mantra etching calm into the surge. This isn't denial, it's dominion. Moods bow to declaration's unyielding will. Sense the pullback, the inner voice murmuring, but feelings just happen. That's the tempest's oldest lie. Embrace the raw edge of truth. Meet Javier, the salesman whose peaks of charisma closed deals, but valleys of gloom sabotaged follow-ups. Clients slipped away, commissions dried, rock bottom came after a botched pitch, tears blurring the road home. He sought a mentor, not for tricks, but excavation. They unearthed Mood's roots, childhood echoes of a father's volatility, mirroring his own swings. Javier began the shadow inventory nightly ledger of triggers, caffeine spikes, isolation brooding. He countered with balms, herbal teas soothing nerves, evening walks under stars fostering vastness beyond self. Swings gentled, sales soared. Commissions rebuilt homes, not just accounts. What shadows stir your tides, listener? Inventory them. Illuminate. Transformation tides turn here. Picture your moods as an ancient ship's sails billowing with wind's gifts, or whipping in gales of your neglect. You've let them flap wildly too long. Trim them with a harmony harness. Midday, when energy wanes, pause for the elemental reset. 5 minutes of bare feet on earth, palms open to sky, deep pulls of air filling sails with prana. Visualize excess gusts spilling overboard, leaving only steady breeze. Pair it with kinesthetic communion, gentle sways, arm circles echoing ocean's roll. No force, just flow. Evening review the voyage. What wines served? Which shredded canvas? Adjust rigging for tomorrow. This harness doesn't still seas. It equips you to surf them. Days blend into rhythms of resilience, creativity unbound. Yet moods cloak deeper snares. They masquerade as allies, euphoric highs masking reckless leaps, somber lows posing as wisdom. Discern with the tide tester. When emotion swells, halt. Probe. Does this propel my true north, or lure to reefs? Recall Elena, the entrepreneur whose thrill-chasing moods birthed ventures that flamed out fast, leaving debts like wreckage. Excitement equals success. Her tides lied. She tested rigorously, anchoring decisions in core values, sustainability, service. Fool's gold ventures ceased. Enduring enterprises rose. Partnerships flourished on steady currents. Wealth flowed sustainable. Your moods tempt like sirens. Test them. Sail true. Sovereignty deepens in communal waters. Solitary moods amplify, shared ones diffuse. Cultivate the circle of calm weekly gatherings with souls who mirror steadiness. Not venting pits, but elevation circles. Each shares a mood anchor that week. Triumphs born of trials. Laughter lightens loads. Insights multiply. I witnessed Kai, the engineer, moods fracturing focus amid project pressures. His circle challenged channel that frustration into fuel. He did, prototypes innovated, promotions followed. Isolation breeds monsoons. Connection trade winds. Your circle awaits forging. Embrace this bedrock. A mastered mood doesn't erase storms, it equips you to thrive within them. Relationships harbor deeper, nurtured by even keel. Pursuits propel, unhindered by whims. Body aligns, stresses corrosion halted. Train as a seafarer, read stars, diligent, attuned, log voyages in a captain's journal. Peaks navigated, troughs transcended. Accountability sails faster. You're no longer capsized, you've conquered the current. Here in Chapter 3, we've steadied the tempest. Your emotional seas now charting courses of command. Savor this burgeoning poise, a strength surging through veins. But mastery of moods stands sentinel to a subtler thief. Money, that elusive river eroding foundations unseen. How does one dam its floods, channel its flow to abundance? Breathe this victory in, then venture forth with me. Chapter 4 beckons, riches reimagined. Chapter 4, channeling money's elusive current. Envision a mighty river of molten gold surging through your grasp. Fingers outstretched, yet grasping only mist, as it cascades into a bottomless chasm. Fortunes forged in sweat, vanishing in whims of coffee steam and fleeting thrills, leaving you parched on prosperity's shore. Bills mount like tidal debris, dreams deferred to someday, while others sail yachts built from disciplined drops. This is money uncontrolled, listener, a relentless current eroding your foundations, mocking your toil. But awaken to this seismic revelation. You are not its beggar, you are the engineer who diverts its flow, damming floods into reservoirs of abundance. In this chapter we trace that river's hidden bends. Hands to the wheel, wealth's true command surges forth now. Money pulses not as cold metal, but as life's vital energy amplified or squandered by your unseen hands. It mirrors your inner order. Chaotic outflows, birth scarcity's echo, directed streams swell to oceans of opportunity. Behold Marcus, the craftsman whose skilled hands birthed heirlooms, yet pockets echoed empty from unchecked indulgences, tools needed post-paycheck, dinners outchasing escape. Debts chained him. Resentment soured his craft. At breaking point, tallying receipts like a confessor's sins, he ignited change. He mapped the current, every dollar tracked in a ledger, revealing vampires, subscriptions dormant, lunches lavish. He decreed the flow formula: 60% to essentials bedrock, 20% to growth seeds, 20% to joy's pure spring. Months unfurled, debts dissolved, a workshop expanded. Marcus now mentors apprentices, his river, a legacy. Your ledger awaits inscription, etch it. Plunge with me into money's veiled mechanics. It flees not in grand heists, but whispers of impulse, shiny distractions preying on fatigue's fog. Unchained, it dictates your days. Mastered, it serves your vision. Invoke the vigil flow at dawn. Gather last week's traces, categorize ruthlessly, sustains, expands, delights. Interrogate each. Did this elevate my empire or erode it? Slash the eroders without mercy. Redirect to multipliers, skills sharpening, networks nurturing, evening right. Preview tomorrow's current, pre-allocating streams. Coffee yields to home brew. That course plants future harvests. This vigilance transmutes spendthrift to steward. Feel the shift. Power, not pennies, accrues. That inner merchant stirs, protesting. But life demands spontaneity. That's scarcity's siren song. Truth demands excavation. Meet Sophia, the healer whose clinic thrived on heart, faltered on frayed finances, generous to a fault, lending to wanderers who vanished. Patients sensed instability. Trust ebbed. In quiet reckoning, she unearthed the wound. A childhood of withheld provision, birthing overgiving as proof of worth. She forged the boundary basin, fees honored sacredly, generosity from surplus alone. Clients deepened commitments. Savings swelled to scholarships for aspiring healers. Sophia's practice now blooms community-wide, abundance circling back manifold. What wounds warp your flow, listener? Unearth. Redirect. From here, rivers run rich. Conjure money as a sacred aqueduct. Channels carved with foresight, feeding gardens eternal. You've allowed leaks and overflows too long. Erect the prosperity pipeline weekly. Siphon 10% upstream automatically. Untouchable compounding in vessels of growth. Knowledge vessels yielding skills. Relational bridges opening doors. Visualize the pipe. Input labors fruits. Output fortified futures. Child's education. Elders' ease. Your bold ventures. When temptation tugs, just this once, invoke the 72-hour horizon. Delay, envision the pipe's strength post-wait. Impulse fades, foresight fortifies. Pair with gratitude immersion. Nightly, name 3 abundances already flowing. Roof overhead, meal savored. Laughter shared, gratitude greases the pipeline, drawing more. Money ensnares with illusions too. It poses as status's crown, logos flaunting false thrones, while true wealth whispers in quiet compounds. Penetrate with the essence audit. Quarterly, confront, does this acquisition amplify freedom or fetter it? Recall Dario, the trader chasing symbols watches ticking debt, cars depreciating dreams. Success looks like this, he chased. Blind to chains. Audit revealed. Liquidity lured liberty. He liquidated vanities, infused markets of multiplication, portfolios burgeoned, time freed for family voyages, causes cherished, legacy outshone ledgers. Your pursuits tempt glamour, audit. Align with essence. Freedom's flow over flash. Communal currents amplify. Lone rivers stagnate, converged ones carve grand canyons, form the wealth watershed, alliances of stewards, sharing ledgers, anonymized, strategies, triumphs, not boasts, but blueprints. This redirection yielded double harvest. I saw Nadia, single mother, budgets buckling under solo strain. Her watershed sisterhood illuminated, bulk buys communal, skills bartered, flows stabilized, children's futures funded, pressures lightened, joys multiplied. Isolation starves, streams alliance irrigates. Seize this cornerstone. Commanded money doesn't merely sustain, it sanctifies purpose. Ventures vault, families flourish, generosity's genuine. Train as a river master, gauges reins, precise, prescient, chronicle currents in a steward's scroll. Inflows innovated, outflows optimized, allies exaggerate ascent. You're no longer swept away. You've harnessed the torrent. Within Chapter 4's banks, we've channeled money's might. Your flow now forging fortunes anew. Bask in this burgeoning bounty, resolve rippling through. Yet these realms, mouth, mind, move, money, interlace in symphonies subtler still. What hidden harmonies bind them, amplifying control exponentially. Hold this prosperity close, then stride onward with me. Chapter 5 unveils the weave. Your mastery multiplies. Chapter 5 The silent wounds of withheld truth. Sense the slow poison seeping through your veins, a toxic brew brewed in silence, turning your chest into a pressure cooker where resentments simmer unseen, until one day they erupt, scolding everyone in reach, including you. You've swallowed barbs meant for others, bottled truths that curdled into chronic ache, watching bridges burn, not from what you said, but from what you never dared utter. This is the mouth's stealth betrayal, listener restraint twisted into self-sabotage, isolation's quiet assassin. But rise to this piercing truth. Silence is not always golden. It is a blade you wield inward when truths beg release. In this chapter we uncork the vials, breathe deep. The courage to speak healing words dawns here. The mouth's power doubles in duality, not just in outpouring, but in measured unveiling. Words withheld fester like untreated wounds, infecting spirit and bonds alike. They birth distance where intimacy yearned, misunderstandings where clarity called. Enter Aria, the devoted wife whose home grew cold as Arctic drifts. For years she swallowed slights, forgotten anniversaries, dismissed dreams, fearing conflict's gale. Silence widened the chasm. Her husband wandered emotionally afar. One frost-bitten evening, hearth cold, she shattered the vial, not with blame's shards, but vulnerability's light. When you overlook my heart's whispers, I feel invisible adrift. I long for us to anchor together. Tears bridged the gap. Conversations flowed like spring thaw, their union renewed, deeper than before. Aria's silence ended. Connection commenced. Your withheld truths hunger for air. Granted. Delve with me into restraint's shadowed art. Unspoken words carve internal caverns, doubt echoing in emptiness, anger turning inward to erode resolve. Yet mastery tempers release, not reckless floods, but channeled streams. Adopt the heart-forge invocation. When truth presses, pause in sacred solitude. Frame it not as assault. You always ignore me, but as revelation. I feel unseen when plans shift without me, and it dims my light. Practice aloud to the mirror, softening barbs into bridges. Deliver with eyes locked, voice steady as ancient oak. This invocation disarms defenses, invites alliance. No more festering, only fertile ground for growth. That whisper of fear rises. What if it worsens? The coward's chain. Truth liberates through fire's trial. Witness Tomas, the loyal son, whose father's domineering shadow smothered his aspirations. Decades of nodded compliance masked boiling frustration, poisoning his own pursuits. Family gatherings turned tense minefields. In a pivotal dawn, Tomas forged release. Father, your guidance shaped me. Yet when it overrides my path, I feel caged. Guide me still, but trust my wings. Shock yielded to pride. Counsel evolved to collaboration. Tomas launched his venture. Paternal legacy intertwined with his own. Wounds scarred beautifully. What cages your voice, listener? Forge its key. Speak from soul's forge. Imagine your mouth as a vigilant gatehouse, truth queuing like emissaries from the heart. Some urgent missives demanding passage, others idle gossip to bar. You've bolted it too rigidly. Swing it with discernment via the threshold tribunal. Before utterance, convene inner council. 3 queries searing bright. First, does this truth serve restoration or mere venting? Second, am I armored in calm or fueled by storm? Third, will it free us both or forge new chains? Green light passes. Others wait refinement. Daily drills hone judgment. Recount a day's exchanges, tribunal each. Gatehouse wisdom accrues. Relationships fortify like citadels. Silence snares the noble too, masquerading as virtue. The martyr endures, slights in peace, breeding quiet tyranny. Pierce with the echo exam. Post-conversation or non-conversation query. Did my restraint echo harmony, or hollow resentment? Recall Isla, community pillar, whose keep peace silenced grievances against unfair loads. Fatigue fractured her service, bonds frayed, exam revealed echoes of bitterness. She voiced boundaries, my gifts flow freely when burdens balance. Loads lightened, gratitude swelled, service sustained. Your echoes call examination. Heed them, harmony demands honest timber. Communion amplifies truthful restraint. Solitary vaults overflow. Shared ones distribute weight. Cultivate the verity veil, intimate circles where raw disclosures practice flight. Not gossip dens, but sanctuaries. I held this back today, hear its shape. Feedback polishes edges. I knew Ramon, artist adrift in studio solitude. Unspoken critiques, self-lacerating his craft. His veil of fellow creators aired. This piece hides fear. Help me unveil. Insights ignited breakthroughs. Galleries clamored. Solitude silences souls. Veils voice valor. Clasp this bastion. A discerning mouth doesn't hoard truths. It stewards them for collective ascent. Ties toughen, threaded with authenticity. Pursuits propel, unburdened by unspoken loads. Spirit soars, poisons purged. Hone as sentinel scans horizons. Alert, artful, chronicle gatehouse logs. Truths timed, impacts illuminated. Companions catalyze clarity. No longer choked, you voiced the vital. In Chapter 5's cleared airways, we've liberated the mouth's deeper dominion. Truths now traversing freely. Revel in this unburdened breath. Authenticity alive. Yet minds harbor echo chambers of their own, amplifying distortions where truths should resonate. How do you shatter those internal mirrors, birthing clarity from confusion? Cherish this vocal victory, then press on beside me. Chapter 6 storms the mental fortress. Your sovereignty swells. Chapter 6 shattering the mind's echo chamber. Hear the relentless drone building within your skull, a cavernous hall where every doubt bounces off walls of bone, amplifying into a deafening cacophony. You're not enough, you'll fail again. They all see through you until reality warps, truths twist into tormentors, and you shrink from your own shadow. Isolated, the mind turns predator, feasting on solitude's fertile lies, birthing paralysis where action beckoned. This is the echo chamber's cruel symphony. Listener, a self-made prison, echoing defeat into destiny. But claim this thunderous awakening. You are not the echo's slave. You are the demolisher who crushes walls, flooding light into truth's expanse. In this chapter, we swing the hammer, stand firm. Liberation from mental mirrors begins its crash. The mind's echo chamber thrives in seclusion, where unchallenged whispers harden into convictions, distorting the world through funhouse glass. One rejection spirals to unlovable, a setback to doomed. These aren't revelations, they're reverberations you alone amplify. Meet Alara, the visionary inventor, whose garage lab hummed with promise, until a prototype's flop echoed endlessly. Idiot, waste of time. Nights blurred into despair. Patents gathered dust. Cut off from counsel, her chamber sealed tight. Then, desperation cracked the door. She sought a mentor's ear, not for solace, but scrutiny. Test this loop, she urged. His probe pierced. Evidence shows 3 prior sparks succeeded. This is iteration, not indictment. Walls trembled. Innovation roared back. Alara's devices now grace shelves worldwide. Your chamber hums too. Reach it. Journey inward with me to this acoustic trap's core. Echoes multiply unchecked narratives, starving insight, fattening fear. Shatter them with the breach beacon. When loops ensnare, Mid-rumination on what-ifs, halt. Seek a sounding board, voice the vortex aloud to one trusted beyond your echo. Not for agreement, but autopsy. What facts fuel this? What counters it? Their fresh angle fractures the feedback. Alara ritualized it weekly. Confident convocations, dissecting distortions. Loops shortened, clarity cascaded. This beacon doesn't mute the mind, it ventilates it, birthing balanced symphonies. Feel the recoil, that insular instinct. Snarling, I stand alone. It's the chamber's last defense. Valor demands alliance. Recall Orion, the strategist whose boardroom conquests masked private defeats. Echoes of imposter after every win, driving overwork to exhaustion's brink. Promotions mocked him inwardly. Solitude amplified shame. He forged the probe pacts with peers, mutual mind audits, anonymous echoes exchanged. Your strategy shines, but does fear echo in execution? Feedback flooded light, strategies sharpened. Orion ascended, not alone but amplified. Exhaustion yielded to equilibrium. Who mirrors your blind spots, listener? Pact with them. Echoes die in daylight. Visualize your mind as a vast resonator hall, thoughts pinging like frantic bats in endless night, until you install the truth transom, a skylight admitting external rays. You've dimmed it too long. Open wide with the intrusion inventory. Dawn and dusk. List 3 invading echoes. Source them, bosses frown, colleagues silence, then summon counterchords from outer orchestras. Past proofs, ally affirmations, data dispelling dread. Speak them resonant, 5 deals closed despite doubts. This echo lies, transom widens. Bats flee to clarity's dawn. Orion etched inventories into leather-bound tomes, reviewing monthly evolutions. Halls hushed, genius governed. Echoes deceive masterfully. Cloaking as protectors, caution keeps you safe, while chaining to stagnation. Demolish with the resonance reckoner. When an echo insists, measure its ring. Does it resonate with action or anesthetize it? Expand possibility or contract it? Behold, Liara, curator, whose gallery dreams stalled in perfectionist echoes, fearing critiques cascade. Shows postponed indefinitely. Reckoning revealed. Contraction ruled. She previewed pieces to preview panels. Small stakes. Swift rings. Critiques refined. Not ruined. Openings overflowed. Crowds connected. Coffers filled. Your echoes pose as guardians. Reckon. Release the expansive ring. Echoes fracture. In fellowships forge. Lone resonators warp. Choral ones harmonize. Erect the clarity chorus. Select simpatico souls for rotational reveals. This echo trapped me this week. Sound it back. Collective counters compound correction. I knew Soren navigator charting seas of uncertainty, whose solo echoes plotted mutinies against bold courses. Chorus convened. Captains sharing logbook. Lies busted. Voyages ventured. Horizons claimed. Isolation incubates insanity. Chorus cures. Anchor this axiom. A breached chamber doesn't silence thought. It sanctifies it with truth's timber. Visions vivify, unwarped by whispers. Bonds bolster, perceptions purified. Vitality vaults, energy unechoed into action. Cultivators conductor cues, choirs, intent, inclusive, archive audibles. Echoes evicted, truths enthroned. Chorus catalyzes conquest. No longer reverberant ruin. You've resounded reality. Through Chapter 6's shattered glass, we've ventilated the mind's maze. Truths now tolling triumphant. Absorb this acoustic ascent. resonance realigning. But moods conceal triggers, stealthier still. Subterranean springs, surging swells untraced. How do you map those hidden aquifers, preempting emotional eruptions? Anchor this breach, then advance arm in arm. Chapter 7 unearths the veiled. Your vigilance vitalizes. Chapter 7 Unearthing Mood's Subterranean Springs. Beneath your feet, the earth trembles faintly as hidden aquifers rupture without warning. Geysers of rage erupting from a casual slight, abyssal sinks of lethargy, swallowing ambition after a single discordant note, all while you stand bewildered atop the upheaval, blind to the fractures spiderwebbing below. These aren't capricious curses from the gods. They're mood's covert triggers, subterranean saboteurs gnawing at your equilibrium from realms unseen. You've danced on their fault lines too long, listener, jolted from serenity to storm without a map. But seize this earth-shaking insight. You are the geologist who charts these depths, sealing fissures before they fracture your world. In this chapter, we descend the shafts. Lantern high, the excavation of emotional origins ignites now. Mood's hidden triggers lurk not in surface tempests, but bedrock fissures, habits etched deep, memories mineralized, rhythms disrupted, springing forth to destabilize the unwary. Ignored, they dictate to sense. Mapped, they yield to mastery. Consider Valeria, the composer, whose symphonies soared until phantom funks derailed deadlines, notes turning discordant under invisible siege. Rehearsals faltered, patrons drifted. In shadowed studio vigils, she drilled down mapping mood quakes to precursors. Late caffeine jolts sparking jitters, solitary evenings brooding, isolation. No blame, just bedrock revelation she sealed first. Dawn hydration rituals quenching chemical spikes, twilight communions with melody mates, dissolving solitude's stone. Compositions cascaded flawless, ovations thundered. Valeria's depths yielded diamonds. Yours pulse with untapped strata. Probe them. Descend deeper into these veiled vaults with me. Triggers masquerade as innocuous. Digital deluges fragmenting focus into frayed nerves. Grudges calcified from yesteryears, seeding chronic cynicism. Untraced, they ambush ascent. Illuminate with the Aquifer Atlas, Armor Compact Chronicle. Timestamp every mood migration. Summit to slump, spark to shadow, noting antecedents precisely. Post-scroll surge, envy cascade after influences gleam. Patterns precipitate like crystal formations. Blue light barrages precede blues. Sugar surges summon snarls. Atlas not once, but persistently. 7 dawns yield seismic clarity. Valeria etched hers in leather. Veins of vice, vivid. Vises foreseen become fortresses fell. The excavator in you balks. Triggers too tangled to trace. That's bedrock denial. The saboteur's shroud. Courage compels the delve. Meet Kale, the mediator, whose counsel calmed courts by day, yet home harbingers heralded havoc, snaps at supper from untraced tensions. Marriages mirrored his mood's mess. He committed to the core-coring 7-day immersion, logging every shift with ruthless root hunting, irritant colleagues' mimicry, echoing father's scorn. Coring cracked the vein, paternal phantoms provoking preemptive defense. He neutralized via narrative reframing, past echoes, not present edicts, homes harmonized, hearings heightened. What ancestral aquifers acidify your heirs? Listener, core them. Clarity crystallizes. Envision moods as geothermal realms, pressure building in magma chambers until vents vent violently. Until you install the pressure probes, sensors sampling subterranean shifts. You've ignored seismic whispers too long. Deploy daily, thrice hourly, pulse check, body humming harmony or harmonic discord. What's the geothermal guess? Correlate with Atlas entries, tension coils post meals, refined fuel realigns, fatigue fissures at 4, micro movements mend, probes preempt eruptions, channeling heat to hearths of productivity. Kale probed pre-negotiations, moods molten no more, verdicts victorious. Probes pioneer prevention, triggers tempt with treachery, disguising as destiny. This is just me moody. Dismantle with the spring source scanner. When surge strikes, scan sources threefold: physiological, hunger hollowing heart; relational, unresolved ripple from kin; existential, purpose pulse faint. Recall mirror, vintner, whose vintage visions soured in sullen spells blaming terroir. Scanner spotlighted, relational rifts with laborers, existential drifts from craft's core. Remedies rooted, hearth dialogues, harvest rituals reaffirming vocation. Vintages vaulted, valleys vert your springs siren sweetly. Scan, stem the fellowship fortifies faultline fortitude. Solo shafts collapse, collaborative caverns conquer. Assemble the depth diversion, compact cadre of confidants convening weekly. My Atlas unveiled this aquifer, yours cross correlations compound cartography. That sugar sink mirrors mine, shared siphon. I observed Theo, architect amid blueprint blues, triggers terraforming turmoil. Diversion delved peers pinpointed perfectionism's pressure. Collective countermeasures, collaborative critiques, crystallized calm. Structures stood sublime. Isolation incubates instability. Diversion drills durable depth. Embrace this elemental edict. Unearthed triggers don't dictate descents, they dissolve into dominion. Days deepen in deliberate dawn, pursuits propelled by preemption. Bonds burrow bedrock strong, unjolted. Vitality vivifies, fissures filled. Trainers Tellurian turns, tracing, transforming. Atlas archives evolutions, aquifers arrested, ascents assured. Diversion deepens, discernment. No longer landlocked by lava. You've landscaped the layers. Across Chapter 7's stratified soils, we've surveyed mood's mysteries, your inner earth now engineered for endurance. Let this geological gravitas ground you, stability surging. Yet money harbors myths mightier still, ancestral legends leeching legacies of lack. How do you dynamite those deep-seated dogmas, liberating liquidity? Ground this gain, then grope the gloom with me. Chapter 8 awaits, myths pulverized. Chapter 8, demolishing money's ancestral myths. Deep in the catacombs of your lineage, ancient stone tablets crumble under torchlight, inscribed with iron-clad edicts. Money grows only for the lucky. Wealth corrupts the pure. Save every scrap or starve, their dust now choking your veins, turning ambition to ash. Every bold investment a betrayal of bloodline ghosts whispering lack into your ledger. You've inherited these shackles unseen. Listener myths masquerading as wisdom, binding billions to barren vaults, while abundance passes them by. But thunder this revelation through your marrow. You are not myth's heir. You are the iconoclast who shatters slabs, forging new creeds from liberated light. In this chapter we torch the tablets, torch aloft. The demolition of fiscal fables erupts now. Money myths aren't idle folklore. They're psychic parasites, suckling prosperity from the cradle, dictating scarcity as sacrament. Past parent to progeny, they warp wealth's waters, hoarding, birthing stagnation, risk reviled as ruin. Witness Harlan, the lineage's last laborer, shackled by grandfather's gospel. Rich folk are thieves, toil humbly or tempt fate, Skilled in silversmithing, he spurned markets for meager wages, family fraying under fiscal famine, debts devoured dreams. In a vault of heirloom ledgers, Harlan unearthed the myth's marrow, fabricated from famine eras, irrelevant now. He recast it, value crafts abundance ethically, bazaars beckoned, apprentices bloomed. Harlan's hearth overflowed, legacy rewritten. Your tablets tremble too, topple them. Venture into myth's mausoleum with me. These spectres spawn sabotage. Money's finite pie, starves sharing, birthing beggars of bounty. Windfalls define winners, chases lotteries over labor. Pulverize with the myth mausoleum mapping. Dawn vigil, excavate 5 fiscal faiths. Money corrupts, must suffer to succeed. Trace taproots, parental parables, cultural cant. Then autopsy with antitheses, historical harvests from ethical empires, joy-fueled fortunes. Harlan mapped his on cavern walls, chiseling counters, value multiplies. Mapping murders, myths mid-gestation. This right reclaims your realm. Doubts dirge drones. But these truths sustain survival. That's myth's mummified moan. Audacity awakens ancestry anew. Behold Selene, merchant matriarch, whose emporium echoed maternal mantra. Women wield purses, not power. Ventures ventured timidly. Suppliers smirked. Stagnation stung. Mausoleum delved maternal diaries. Post-war prudence, not perpetual prison. Selene supplanted. Feminine fire forges fortunes. Bold bids blossomed, chains crumbled. Emporium empires spanned seas. What maternal myths muzzle your might, listener? Map. Mutiny. Conjure money as primordial bedrock. Myths like fault lines, fracturing flows, until you deploy the fable fracturer, seismic tools splintering stone. You've quarried cautiously too long. Fracture thrice daily, spire spend. This whim honors treat yourself. Interrogate, myth or mastery. Does it multiply or merely mollify? Fracturer forges, impulse audits, yielding delayed delights, double dividends. Harlan fractured, instant gratification gospel, instituting incubation vaults, 48-hour holds, birthing wiser wealth, flows, fortified fortunes flowered. Fracturer frees the foundation. Myths mutate, slyly, posing as prudence. Diversify, gambling, stunting growth, groves. Annihilate via the legacy litmus. Ledger legends against luminaries. Did this belief birth Bezos billions or beggar brothers? Selene litmus-tested loyalty over leverage, spotlighting symbiotic scales, loyal lines laced with lucrative links. Partnerships proliferated. Your law lures limitation. Litmus, liberate. Mythmongering thrives in monologue. Multiplicity murders it. Rally the myth marauders, cabal of contrarians convened monthly. This fable fettered me, fracture it. Collective critiques catalyze cataclysms. That scarcity sermon suits survivalists, not sovereigns. I beheld Ronan, rancher rooted in landlock's legacy, resisting rentals, marauders marshaled, peers profiting from pastures shared, revenues rocketed, ranges rejoiced. Solitude sustains specters, marauders massacre. Grasp this granite gospel. Demolished myths don't deny discipline, they unleash dominion, unbounded. Ventures vivify, value vortexing, legacies, lavish, liberated. Trainers Tomb Raider torches, traps, tenacious, transformative. Mausoleum manifests mutations, myths mourned, mantras, marauders, magnify. No longer legend-locked, you've launched liquidity's dawn. Through Chapter 8's rubble-strewn ruins, we've raised money's mythic monuments, your fiscal foundations now fiercely free. Let this liberated largesse lavish your limbs, potency pulsing, yet profounder powers emerge when mouth and mind entwine, words wielding thoughts wilds in wondrous ways. How does verbal valor vanquish mental vapors? Savor this shattered supremacy, then surge shoulder to shoulder. Chapter 9 knits the nexus. Your synergy summons. Chapter 9. The symphonic dance of mouth and mind. Witness two ancient titans, locked in eternal embrace, atop a mist-veiled mountain, one a roaring lion of vocal thunder, the other a coiling serpent of silent cunning. Each strike from the lion's jaws, reshaping the serpent's scales, every twist of the serpent forging sharper fangs for the lion, their union birthing a beast of unparalleled ferocity or fragility, depending on who leads the dance. This is the sacred synergy of mouth and mind. Listener, where spoken decrees etch neural pathways like rivers carving canyons, and thoughts unspoken summon words that wound or wondrously wield. You've let them clash chaotically too long, spawning self-fulfilling sabotages. But herald this symphonic secret: you are the conductor who harmonizes their roar into renaissance. In this chapter, we take the baton, notes rising. The duet of dominion commences now. Mouth and mind entwine as lovers and rivals. Words the mind's mirror, thoughts the tongue's forge, each reinforcing the other's rhythm until harmony heals or discord devours. Casual curses calcify into chronic defeatism. Proclamations of prowess pave paths of persistence. Enter Leora, the scribe whose quill once quivered under mental murmurs of mediocrity. Your prose pales beside masters until pages piled unpursued. Publishers passed, purpose perished. Awakening to the dance, she decreed dawn declarations aloud. My words weave worlds unmatched, voiced with visceral force. Feeling vibrations vivify vague thoughts into vivid convictions. Neural networks realigned, manuscripts mesmerized. Leora's tomes topped charts, mind-mouth melody mastered. Your duo drifts discordant, directed. Plumb this partnership's profound pulse with me. Spoken seeds sprout synaptic strength. Affirmations aren't whispers to wind, but architects aloud, rewiring reticence to resolve. Disdain voiced daily digs doubt stitch deeper. Valor, verbalized vaults over valleys, orchestrate with the vocal vector. Morning mountaintop mimic, station before dawn's mirror. Eyes ablaze and volley verbal vectors. Not rote recitals, but resonant roars. Obstacles sharpen my supremacy. I architect abundance effortlessly. Infuse inflection, gesture, grand fists clenched, chest expanded, melding mouth's might with mind's marrow. Leora vectored thrice daily. Hesitations evaporated. Horizons hove into view. This vector doesn't vocalize vacuously. It vivifies the mind's core code. Resistance ripples. Words alone waver weak. That's the duo's discord feigning dominance. Fusion forges fortitude. Recall Thorn, the trailblazer whose expeditions expired in mental miasma. Too treacherous despite triumphs past. Companions questioned his quiet capitulation. He harnessed the resonance relay, voiced visions to venture veterans. This peak pulses possibility. Doubts dissolve in declaration, their echoes endorsing his emergence. Spoken synergy silenced specters. Summited. Publishing houses pursued his odyssey opus. What visions vacillating your vault, listener? Relay them resoundingly. Synergy surges. Envision mouth and mind as twin flames in a grand forge, sparks from spoken steel striking thought's anvil, hammering weapons of will or wastelands of worry until you stoke the symphonic stoker. You've let embers expire erratically, stoke strategically, midday, amid mental murk. Mouth, the momentum. Clarity cascades now. Confusion crumbles with cadence climbing, volume vaulting, body swaying to internal cadence. Pair with proprioceptive punch, palms pressing powerfully, anchoring utterance to unconscious updrafts. Evening encore, audit alliances. Did declaration direct doubt's dispersal? Thorns stoked through tempests, trails transformed to triumphs. Stoker sustains the blaze. The dance deludes deftly, words wooing wayward thoughts. Just vent to vent vapor, while birthing backlash loops. Counter with the lyric litmus. Post-proclamation litmus lyrics leverage. Did this duet propel purpose or perpetuate pitfalls? Leora, litmus-tested lament litanies, lopping woe-weaving for wonder-wielding. Pages propelled, your lyrics lure languor. Litmus, launch loftier lay. Duets dazzle, in dialogue's domain. Solo strains strain, shared symphonies soar. Convene the harmony horde, hand-picked harmonizers for harmonic handoffs. Voice this vector, volley your verdict. Collective cadences compound calibration. I knew Vesper, violinist vexed by virtuoso visions vanishing in vibrational voids. Horde harmonized, mentors mouthing her motifs back, magnified, concerts conquered, conservatories called. Isolation improvises, ill. Horde harmonizes, heavenward. Seize this symphonic summons, fused mouth and mind. Don't merely march, they compose conquests, cosmic creations. Crystallize, charisma, cascades. Confederates, converge, conviction contagious. Cultivate as maestro molds movements, melodic, meticulous. Vector volumes, vivify voyages. Declarations documented, duets deepened. Horde heightens harmony. No longer atonal adversaries. You've orchestrated opus. In Chapter 9's crescendoing chords, we've coupled mouth and mind in masterful movement, your inner orchestra now overture ready. Let this harmonic heat haze your horizon, synergy singing, yet mood and money mirror in more mercurial measures. Emotional ebbs expending empires unwittingly. How do you choreograph that covert coupling, conserving capital through calm? Bask in this baton-born brilliance. Then ballet forth beside me. Chapter 10 twirls the tandem. Your tempo transcends. Chapter 10, the covert waltz of mood and money. Glimpse the shadowed ballroom where a mercurial muse of emotion twirls a golden coin purse in deadly tango. One euphoric pirouette, flinging fortunes into frivolous flames, a despairing dip, draining reserves into desperate gambles, partners locked in lethal lockstep, leaving you bankrupt in body and bank, while the orchestra of impulse plays on unchecked. This is mood's insidious infiltration of money. Listener, where fleeting feelings forge fiscal folly, turning paychecks to pyres and potentials to paupers overnight. You've waltzed unwittingly into wreckage too often, swept by surges you scarcely sense, but proclaim this pas de deux profound pivot. You are the choreographer who scripts serenity into solvency. In this chapter, we claim the floor, lights low. The harmonious waltz awakens now. Mood and money entwine as clandestine companions, emotional ebbs, expending empires on retail remedies, peaks precipitating profligate pursuits, each sway sabotaging stewardship. Unless synchronized, unseen, moods milk your coffers dry. Attuned, they amplify assets. Behold Eloan, the florist, whose blooms burst bountiful until melancholy moods mandated midnight mall marathons. Just this vase to vanquish void, ballooning credit card chasms, petals wilted under debt's drought, dreams deferred, awakening to the waltz. She wove the emotional expenditure audit, every outlay outed with mood's mask stripped. Sorrow spent 70 on silk scarves. Revelation reframed, voids voiced to vases of vitality. Blooms boomed, balances balanced. Eloan's garden grew golden. Your waltz whispers waste, waltz wisely. Step into this subtle ballroom with me. Moods masquerade as monetary mentors, splurge to spark joy, but breed bondage. Joy's jolt justifies jewels fleeting. Frustration fuels fast food fiascos. Harmonize with the sentiment siphon. Dawn dance, diary every dollar's dance partner. Lunch lust from loneliness, then siphon substitute solitude shattered by strolls, not snacks. Eloan siphoned sorrow spends to soil and seeds. Storefront swelling, this siphon doesn't stifle spending, it sanctifies it. Moods marshaled into multipliers. The inner impresario protests. Emotions earn escapes. That's the waltz's wicked whimsy. Precision partners poise. Witness Caspian, the coder whose code cracked under crestfallen crashes. Post-bug blues birthing binge buys on gadgets. Guaranteed glee. Savings sank. Startups stalled. Audit unveiled the alliance. Despondency dictating disbursements. He instituted the pause pirouette. 72-hour halts on heart-hurried buys. Querying, does delight endure or dissipate? Gadgets gathered dust, investments ignited. Caspian's apps ascended app stores. What mood masquerades mock your margins, listener? Pirouette. Preserve. Picture mood and money as luminous lanterns, linked by invisible thread. One dims, tugging the other, into darkness. Both ablaze, illuminating infinities. You've let flickers flail freely. Link them via the equilibrium ensemble. Midday mise-en-scène, mood meter marked bliss to blues, then monetary mirror, highs hoard, lows lavish. Ensemble evens euphoria, earmarks extras to enrichment envelopes, gloom guides to gratitude galleries, photos of past provisions. Caspian ensembled evenings, ledger linked to levity logs, lows lightened. Lanterns linked, luminosity lasted. The waltz weaves wicked webs, glee goading gambles. This stock surges with my spirits, crashing when calm descends. Unravel with the fiscal feeling filter. Filter feelings, fiscal fingerprints. Does this dollar dance with durable design or dreamy delusion? Eloan filtered floral frenzies. Festival fervor for finery, redirecting to future farm expansions. Harvests, harvested heartily. Your feelings feign fiscal flair. Filter, fortify. Waltzers whirl wildest in isolation, illuminated in intimacy. Form the balance ballroom, beloved beings, for bi-weekly ballets. My mood minted this misstep, mirror it. Mutual moves mend. That gloom gift mirrors my glitch. Grace with group grace. I saw Maris Baker, whose batter blues baked budget busts, comfort carbs, cashed out calories, costly, ballroom baked better. Peers prescribing pastry pauses, plenty pursuits. Loaves lifted legacies, solitude spins spirals, ballroom balances. Claim this choreographed creed. Synced mood and money don't merely meet, they multiply magnificently. Acquisitions align with abundance arcs, not effective accidents. Ventures vault via vigilant vibes. Trainer's tutu turns tempo, tuned, tenacious. Siphon scrolls, show symphonies, spends sanctified. Surpluses swelling, ballroom bolsters. Buoyancy, no longer ledger lost. You've led the luminous lead. Within Chapter 10's twirling tempo, we've tamed mood's monetary minuet, your coffers now coursing with calm command. Let this balanced brilliance buoy your being, poise profound. But the grander gala gathers all four: mouth, mind, mood, money in masterful medley. How does their quartet crescendo into complete conquest? Hold this harmonious hold. then glide gracefully with me. Chapter 11 orchestrates the whole. Your opus unfolds. Chapter 11 The Quartet's Grand Convergence. Behold 4 elemental monarchs, converging in a colossal colosseum under storm-lashed skies. Mouth the herald thundering decrees from ramparts. Mind the strategist plotting sieges in shadowed war rooms. Mood the tempestuous tide surging or stilling the legions. Money the golden arsenal arming or starving the fray. Their isolated reigns yielding chaos until fused in flawless formation, toppling titans that solitary sovereigns could scarcely sway. This is the quartet's transcendent convergence. Listener, where mouth, mind, mood, and money meld into monolithic mastery, each amplifying the others into an unstoppable symphony of self-sovereignty. You've reigned in fragments too long, realms ripe for ruin, but declare this climactic covenant. You are the emperor who unites them, crowning conquest over calamity. In this chapter, we forge the phalanx. Banners high, the grand convergence galvanizes now. The quartet thrives not in silos, but seamless synthesis. Mouths, proclamations, programming minds, machinations, moods, currents, channeling money's cascades, each echo elevating the ensemble into exponential empire building. Discord dissolves domains, harmony harvests heavens. Witness Galen, the guildmaster whose workshops withered under warring whims, rash retorts repelling recruits, mental meanders, missing markets, moody marathons mandating manic spends, coffers collapsing, guilds gasp. In crucible clarity, he convened the convergence cauldron, dawn assemblies, auditing alliances. Did yesterday's declaration steady today's deliberations? Moods momentum marshal monetary might. Realignments rippled, verbal vows vaulting visions, emotional equanimity earmarking efficiencies. Guilds grew galactic, Galen gilded generations. Your monarchs murmur mutiny. Marshal them. Advanced into this unified uprising with me. Convergence demands daily drills, not distant dreams. Interrogations igniting integration. Invoke the Dominion dial. Twilight Tribunal. Dial each domain's dial tone, mouth measured in meaningful missives, mind mapped for momentum, mood monitored for magnitude, money metered for multiplication. Query crosscurrents. Did unchecked chatter churn mental chaos? Emotional eddies erode earnings. Galen dialed duskly discrepancies dispatched, terse talk tamed into tactical tomes, fueling focused forays. This dial doesn't dissect division, it dispatches dominion, quartet questing as one. Skepticism stirs, unity utopia, realms too rebellious. That's fractured fealty's final feint. Integration ignites immortals. Recall Seraphina, sovereign of silks, whose looms languished in lone lordships, snappish supervision souring sentiments, doubt derailing designs, gloom gobbling gold on grief goods, threads tangled terminus. Cauldron convened kin, collective convergence councils. My mouth's misfire mirrored your mind's mire, moods monsoon your money's mess. Synergies surfaced, shared scripts scripting steadier minds, communal calms conserving capital. Silks swept salons, Seraphina's saga soared. What rebel realms rouse your ranks? Listener, counsel, conquer. Visualize the quartet as celestial spheres in gravitational grace, mouth's orbit, ordering mind's axis, mood's luminescence, lighting money's trajectory, perturbations propelling planets into perfected paths or perilous plummets. You've permitted planetary pandemonium too long. Align with the harmony helix. Midday meridian, helix each hemisphere. Mouth minding mood's melody before monetary moves. Envisioning spirals, this utterance uplifts unrest into resolve. Resolve redirecting resources. Gesture the helix, hands circling chestward, drawing domains inward, Galen helixed through hurdles, horizons homogenized, helix harmonizes heavens, convergence conceals cunning fractures, one falter fissuring the formation, mind marches but mouth mutters mutiny, fortify via the phalanx probe post-performance. Did domains dance in lockstep or lag? Serafina probed pre-productions, preempting pitfalls, moody murmurs muted before minting mishaps. Productions prospered. Your phalanx feigns flawlessness. Probe perfect. Empires exult in exalted exchange. Solitary spheres spin sporadically, federated firmaments flourish. Erect the sovereignty synod, select sentinels for synodic summits. Quartet conspired this conquest, critique the cadence. Collective clarions compound cohesion. I witnessed Draven, dominion of docks, domains drifting disastrously, verbal volleys, vexing vessels, mental meanders, misrouting manifests, moody maelstroms misspending maintenance, monies marooned, synod synchronized, your mouth's mastery mends my mind's maze, docks dominated dominions, isolation incubates insurrection, synod subdues, proclaim this paramount pact. Converged quartet doesn't merely endure, it engineers eternities. Legacies loom luminous, lives lavished in layered lordship. Trainers tighten tempers troops, tactical, tenacious, dial documents dynasties, dominions dialed, divergences dissolved. Synod sanctifies supremacy, no longer noble nomads. You've nexuses the nexus. Across Chapter 11's unified uprising, we've melded the monarchs into majestic medley, your empire now eternally entrenched. Let this phalanx's power pulse through your person, potency peerless. Yet one final forge fire flickers, the eternal tending of these flames, weaving mastery into marrow forever. How does daily devotion distill dominion into destiny undying? Embrace this ensemble's eminence, then embark eternally with me. Chapter 12 kindles the undimmable, your apotheosis awaits. Chapter 12, eternal flames of unyielding mastery. Stand atop the eternal volcano's rim, as four sacred flames erupt from the earth's molten heart. Mouths crimson blaze, forging fates with fervent fire, minds sapphire inferno, illuminating infinite intellect. Moods emerald pyre, pulsing with poised passion. Money's aureate blaze, birthing boundless bounty, their solitary sparks sputtering in winds of whim, until fused in the crucible below, rising as one indomitable inferno that scorches shadows, illuminates legacies, and warms worlds unborn. This is mastery eternal. Listener, the perpetual tending of your quartet, where vigilance vests victory, lapses lure loss, and daily devotion distills dominion into destiny's undying dawn. You've glimpsed their glow in fragments, now claim the conflagration complete. In this culminating chapter, we stoke the blaze, ashes to embers. Eternal mastery manifests now. Eternal flames demand ceaseless custody, mouths embers banked against bluster, minds blaze buffered from breezes of doubt, moods pyre protected from pouring gloom, money's fire fed with foresight's fuel, each neglect, nurturing night, nurturing nirvana. Mastery isn't momentary, it's marrow-deep ritual, weaving control into consciousness. Behold Zephyr, the zenith seeker, whose zenith zigzagged conquests crumbling to complacency, empires evaporating in episodic entropy, peaks passed, plateaus prevailed. In volcanic vigil he vowed the flame-forged dawn to dusk devotions, domains audited in unity, mouth murmured mastery, mind mapped miracles, mood maintained momentum, money multiplied methodically, forge fired fidelity, Zephyr's ziggurats zoned zeniths perpetual, Your flames flicker fitfully, forge them fierce. Immerse in immortality's ignition with me. Eternity etches through evening evocations, not ephemeral efforts. Enact the vigil vault, dusk sanctum. Vault each vector's vitality, mouth's missives, measured for might. Mind's meanderings mined for momentum, moods magnitudes marked for mastery, money's movements meted for multiplication. Interrogate intersections. Did dawn's decree deflect day's derailments? Twilight's tally transformed tomorrow's. Zephyr vaulted velvet volumes, volumes voicing victories, compounding. This vault doesn't vanquish variance, it vaccinates against it, flames flaring forever. The tempter tempts. Mastery mundane, spontaneity summons spirit. That's entropy's embering ember. Perpetuity pulses through practice profound. Witness, Isolde, illuminator, whose illuminations ignited intermittently, verbal visions vanishing in vapid vents, cerebral sparks smothered in solitude, emotional embers extinguished by excess, fiscal fires fanned to frenzy, then famine. Canvases collected cobwebs, vault unveiled variances, verbal voids, voiding visions. She vowed variance vanquishers, verbal vespers, voicing valor, nightly, cerebral communions with kindred quills. Illuminations immortalized, Isolde's icons inspired infinities. What variances vex your vigil, listener, vault, vanquish? Conjure your quartet as hearth guardians in winter's wilds, mouth-stoking stories, sustaining souls, mind-mapping meridians through murk, mood-modulating mirth, amid misery, money-minting munitions for mornings, neglect nips at knees, nurture nurtures nations. You've huddled haphazardly too long, tend with the ember embrace. Hourly hearth checks, embrace each mouth, murmur might, mind map mastery mood, maintain mirth, money multiply, palms to pulse points, breathing blaze inward, zephyr embraced through equinoxes, equinoxes echoed empires, embrace etches eternity, flames feign fidelity, falsely, one falter fanning famines across fronts. Mind masters, money mutates, sustain with the perpetuity probe. Probe pre-prayer, flames fused or fraying, Isolde probed palettes, pre-painting, preempting pallor, moody murmurs muted before monetary misfires, masterpieces materialized manifold. Your flames flatter flawlessly, probe, perpetuate. Immortality ignites in intimate ignition. Lone lanterns languish, legionary luminosities last. Ignite the mastery mantle, mantle of mentors for mantle meetings. Flames flared this fortnight, fan or fuel. Collective conflagration compounds constancy. I knew Thorn, Titan of Thorns, turned triumphs. Flames flickering fortnightly, verbal volleys vanquished by vacillation, mental mirages, misleading marches, moody monsoons marooning missions, monetary maelstroms, melting metal, mantle mobilized, your mouth's mantle mends my mind's malaise, thorny thickets thinned to thoroughfares, scintillation ices infernos, mantle melts mastery. Proclaim this phoenix principle, eternally tended flames don't flicker, they forge firmaments forever. Sagas scripted in sovereign script, spheres spun in seamless sovereignty, trainers tender tempers, tempests, tireless, true, vault visions vivify voyages, vigils victorious, variances vanquished, mantle magnifies, no longer nomadic sparks, you've nexuses the never dying. Here, in Chapter 12's Volcanic Victory, we've vested your flames in vigilant vigil, quartet crowned in conflagration complete. But this is no end, listener. It's your eternal beginning. Carry these embers into every encounter. Pause the mouth to power the mind. Steady the mood to safeguard the money. Converge them ceaselessly. You've traversed tempests to triumph. Now live the blaze. Step forth, sovereign. Your inferno illuminates infinities.